On this episode of Heartbroke, one makes all the money and the other feels like his contributions mean nothing. How do you feel about being the breadwinner?
I like being in that position because I'm a control freak.
When I asked if he minded being the breadwinner, he said no. Do you mind that he's the breadwinner?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I can't even let you finish that question.
When people have control over the money, they tend to be able to make more of the decisions. This is a show about love, money, and the difficult stuff that happens in between. We're giving couples a financial game plan to solve their challenges. But will they be able to make things work after 6 weeks? Or will the trial prove too testing?
I'm Brandon, I'm 34 years old, I'm an elementary school teacher and a crossing guard, and I do children's educational videos.
My name is Josh, I'm 38 years old. My main job is a professor, but I'm also a director of music at a church. I run a nonprofit, I own a business, so I'm very busy.
We met 2009.
Right away, we discovered we both are into music, so we bonded over that immediately, and I just thought he was cute. I make about $130,000 a year.
And with my new jobs, I make about $35,000 a year.
Right now in savings, we probably have about $5,000. We don't spend a lot of time thinking about money. For me, meeting with Misty will be a real eye-opener. I think we probably spend a lot on things that we shouldn't spend a lot on and frivolous things.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been together 12 years and we're not married. So now the next step is getting married, and that's something we want to do.
So, how do you feel about your finances right now?
For me, the stressful part of the finances, we're a team, and I want to pull my weight, I want to figure this out.
That's interesting. So what's going on right now? What do you feel like isn't working or that you feel like you do want to address?
There was a time where we would take, just Sunday seemed to be the one day we both kind of had off, and we'd take little drives or go to the lake. And as we get busier in our different directions, that kind of got lost.
I like to work, and to me, work doesn't feel like work. But then at that time, he's home alone and going, why is he always at work? And so that creates a little bit of conflict and tension in the relationship.
When I get down on myself about it or get frustrated and he sees that, his natural instinct to make me feel better will be, no, I got it. You're good. Give me the real honest situation. If we're at this level, we're at this level, let's work toward it. But if we're good and you have all this extra to spend, well, let's talk about that and just have a real conversation.
Yeah. Maybe there's a way to make what you've got going on feel a lot better right now.
Sounds great.
Okay. So how do you feel about being the breadwinner?
I like being in that position because I'm a control freak, and I like knowing what's coming and going. And I do like the fact that he has money to spend and I don't have to get an extra credit card for him. He knows that his means are small, so his expenditures are small.
Do you talk about your finances regularly?
We never talk about finances.
And why do you think you don't?
Because we're not sharing money, so I just take care of the bills and it's done. I do think it'll be eye-opening when we dive into the numbers. Someone asks us what our monthly expenses are. We don't know. It comes in one hand and out the other. So I think it'll be eye-opening that we both are learning new things about our financial well-being.
When I chat with him or when I work on the plan that you think would be really helpful for both of you, if you could just figure out blank, then things would be all right.
I think it's important for us to nail down what our expenses are, to look and say, this is what's going out a month. And then for him to put a number and say, well, I know it's not 50-50, it's not gonna be equal.
Yeah.
But for us to be able to identify what we think we want to contribute in terms of maybe a percentage, I think it's important to give him that power and that authority to share in the finances.
I don't think I ever realized how much we don't talk about finances together. In the beginning, it was always, you just bring yours and I bring mine. It's it might help us a lot better if we were able to talk more with each other about each other's situations.
Do you mind that he's the breadwinner?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I can't even let you finish that question, because for me, I don't know if I would care if I was the top earner, but just being so significantly far behind while kind of being the happiest in where I'm at is a weird sort of mental thing.
But what would you actually really like more of in your relationship if it's not financial at all?
Balance. I have this immense pressure. If I could earn more, maybe that would allow that inkling of his personality to, maybe tone it down. I don't think it would because he loves it, but there's always that hope that if he had, maybe he doesn't have the option right now. So if I could step up a little bit more, at least that option would be there for him to explore and feel comfortable exploring it.
When people have control over the money, they tend to be able to make more of the decisions. It was really fun to get to know both of you. I think you're doing a lot of really great things, but I think there are a few things that I'd love to see you try to work on together just to make it a little bit more of a comfortable part of your relationship.
Right.
First of all, creating a budget about how much it costs to be you guys in a normal month. The groceries, the utilities, the home improvement, the repairs that you have to do, just to figure out what that looks like. What might be helpful is just to set up one joint account. It'll start to combine your finances a little bit more. You don't have to do 100% really ever. But I think having that one that you're committed to with this, part of your life that you are sharing everything, I think will be helpful. Next one is for you. I would like to see you set aside a time each week to not work. Maybe the Sunday drives need to come back into place. Things will not fall apart, but it's important if you don't prioritize that part of the relationship, that the things that are stressful or are going on at work or the phone buzzing is always going to feel like the most important thing because it's the loudest and it's the one making the most noise at the time. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
All right, great.
I'm feeling really good. Misty provided a lot of good advice.
I feel like we can do these things if I relinquish the reins. So I'm a little bit apprehensive, but definitely willing to give it a try and get him more involved in the finances.
Hi.
Hi, Misty.
How are things going for you guys?
We're doing pretty good.
Okay. So what did you learn when you started to look at your budget?
Well, we noticed where our spending was happening and what was going on with it.
All right, Brandon, let's look at this monthly expenses by breakdown.
Oh my gosh,
So
here we go.
This is
Let's
our
do it.
American Express card. This
Okay.
is the moment of truth, the moment of reality.
What's shocking to me is like 25% of our budget was going to food, was going to that eating out. And
You eat a lot.
I am a grown boy. I'll take full responsibility. That percentage was a lot of me. And then once we were mindful of that, it got down, like now we look at it, it's now only like 7%.
Yeah, that's a huge change. The whole thing about like looking at your finances, and a lot of times people are like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I am like so ashamed of myself. I'm judging myself on top of that. And that just makes you want more French fries. And it's okay. Don't think of it as anything but what it is. But I do think what you can say is like, is that how I want to spend the money in the future?
That makes sense.
All right, great. So another thing we mentioned when I was here last was about a joint checking account for those common expenses that you have.
We're opening a joint checking account today. Yay!
So I know before, Josh, you were pretty much in control of all the finances. Now that you've opened the account and start to look at everything together, have you sort of shifted or shared a little bit of that burden?
Yeah, I think so. I'm comfortable sharing whatever with him, so we just have opened up our checking accounts together, and we can both put more discretionary income in there. We're gonna start to pay some of our recurring monthly expenses.
Good, now that you're changing the payment, you're deciding, yep, this is
Yeah.
something we both want. How about, the late nights? How has that changed at all?
Well, since you were here, we spent a lot more time together. We have more like date days, and,
Okay.
and late nights aren't as late.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful day. Me and Brandon are here on his first day skiing. How you doing so far?
Just a couple of breakdowns, but we got down safely, so that's good.
I would say that has really helped because the Monday night we used to do separate things, and now we're both in the same organization that does provide income, so we both feel good. Okay, we're doing it together. We both get paid to do that one together. That feels great. And then on Thursday nights, because there is a little bit more balance, like I go to church choir on Thursday nights more because like I'm not feeling like, oh, I don't want to give that up. It's like, okay, now it's balanced, so I can be there a lot better.
All right, great. So let me show you what the plan looks like, if that's all right.
Awesome.
So, okay. In this system, the red line is your expenses, and the blue is the salary that's coming in. So right now, you're pretty much spending pretty much everything that's coming in. But then I have, if you were to start to earn $45,000 a year, that's a pretty good target to shoot for. I think you could probably bring that in, like $4,000 a month would get you a little bit above that. And that would have a huge impact, especially in the near future. So when I do turn on the salary for you, it actually increases just because of the money that you're able to save down here.
I love that it no longer
Yeah,
dips tragically.
Exactly.
Right there.
So this feels a little bit less stressful.
Yeah.
So how has this whole process, how has it impacted your relationship?
A lot of times we were kind of in our separate corners. We understood our personalities somewhat, but weren't happy to integrate them. And this has really made us ask difficult questions, talk about it, and kind of set goals and what we want.
Yeah, I think it's certainly strengthened us in a way that's like communicating and kind of knowing what the other person does or what the other person's feeling or thinking about finances or anything else.
Feeling good after seeing Misty again.
Feeling really comfortable in our financial future, and it was really nice to know that both of us are contributing.
It was really scary to talk money. I was kind of embarrassed about how much I was bringing, especially compared to Josh, but now it's not that scary. She showed that the income that I do provide and bring in has a big impact and can serve a big purpose.
When we first started this experience, I was feeling like I didn't want to give up too much power. Money is power or whatever. And after this experience, I realized that it's really nice to have someone that we can share those experiences with. And it's really nice that he knows what our financial situation looks like and he can jump in when, at any time.